Good morning and welcome to the ADS Securities Markets Update. Beginning with Asian session figures, as always, there were a collection of economic releases and events from Australia and Japan, which had a notable impact on the markets. Beginning with Australia, the building permits came in much better than expected, rising by 11.4% in October after a decline of 11.2% in September, while it had been anticipated to rise by 5.2% only. This is also the biggest monthly increase since September of last year. Moreover, the current account deficit eased back more than expected toward minus 12.5 billion in the third quarter of this year, down from 13.9 billion in the second quarter, while the estimates were to decline slightly toward 13.5 billion. And this is also the lowest deficit since the first quarter of this year. In the early morning hours today, the Reserve Bank of Australia decision came in with no change as widely expected. The bank left the cash rate on hold at 2.5%. Furthermore, the bank repeated that the rates is likely to remain stable for some time. However, the bank also repeated that the Aussie remains overvalued comparing to the most fundamentals estimates. Despite that, the Aussie rallied across the board again, or the Aussie dollar also reaching as high as 85.27 as the US dollar profit taking continues. In Japan, the average earnings index, or the average earnings, came in with a disappointment, declining towards 0.5% on a year-over-year basis in October, while the estimates were to rise towards 0.8%. Furthermore, September's reading has been revised down towards 0.7, down from 0.8%, and this is the third monthly decline in a row and the lowest reading since 4 months. As for the European session ahead, we will be waiting for 3 economic releases across the session from Spain, the UK and the Eurozone, which may have a medium impact across the day. Beginning with Spain, the unemployment change is expected to rise again by 21.3 thousand in November, comparing to a rise of 79.2 thousand in October, which would be the 4th monthly increase in a row. In the UK, the construction PMI is expected to decline further towards 61.1 in November, down from 61.4 in October, which would be the 2nd monthly decline in a row and the lowest reading since May of this year. Finally, in the Eurozone, the PPI is expected, or the producer price index is expected to rise by 0.3% in October, comparing to a rise of 0.2% in September, which would be the 2nd monthly increase in a row and the highest reading since August of last year. Going forward to the U.S. session today, the Federal Reserve Chairwoman Janet Yellen will deliver the opening remarks at the 2014 College Fed Challenge Day Final in Washington, D.C. at around 13:30 GMT time. As for today's fundamentals, we will be watching the U.S. construction spending, which is expected to rise by 0.6% in October after a sharp decline of 0.4% in September, which would be the 1st monthly increase in 2 months. These are the fundamentals for today. However, looking back at yesterday and the latest development in the commodities, yesterday we've seen a gold, silver and oil soared significantly, and silver added or advanced by 17% from its intraday low, while gold recovered and gained advanced by 4.5% at the end of the U.S. session. This move is basically, or came in despite the rejection of the silver gold initiative in Switzerland on Sunday. The move could be due to the collapse in the 1-month gold forward offered rate, which collapsed to the lowest level since 1999. Crude oil also recovered slightly towards 69, with the West Texas crude towards $69 yesterday, as CME Group hiked the margin requirements for the 2nd time in a week. However, this doesn't change the downside view, which remains on the downside, targeting $60 in West Texas crude in the coming weeks. This is it for today. You can follow us on our social media sites, Twitter, Facebook and YouTube, to get the latest economic releases, reports and analysis. Thank you for watching.